Hi, I'm Benny Knott from Noisy Post. In the last year, I've built myself a 7.1 mixing studio in my backyard. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and you can see the studio tour in the link above or in the link in the description below. When planning and designing the studio, I needed something that was multifunctional. I have clients coming in here all the time working on their films and broadcast mixes, but I also have my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, and I'm building some educational courses as well. So I needed a space that I could just press record and make YouTube videos, but didn't feel like a YouTube studio when my clients came. While building the studio, I reached out to a few companies to see if they'd partner with me on the studio build as well as my YouTube channel. Fortunately for me, Godox said that they'd send me some lights for my setup. So I'm going to take you through what lights they sent me, how I've set them up in my studio, and how I use them in my 3-point lighting setup. So this is the main camera that I use when I'm doing my educational videos. I'm obviously sitting at my station. I also have a down camera on my mixer doing all that as well. And so I have one key light that lights my desk as well as my face. I've got the backlight there that's a bit of a hair light that does a bit of warm deliciousness there. I've got my RGB color doing the backdrop so it's blue, which I've always been a fan of. And then I do have a non-Godox older light that I previously owned as a bit of an eye light and just to soften the shadows under my eyes. Now, unfortunately, because of the way I have this studio set up and the fact that I don't want it to look like a YouTube studio, as I mentioned before, I've got my key light up in my cloud. It's a sound cloud, it's a room treatment. And so unfortunately, because I've got a giant 85-inch screen in front of me and I want my clients to be able to see it, I can't have a light in the optimum position because I want to be able to have this set up, just press record and go. So the main key light that I'm using is the Godox FL-SL6060. And this is their cool, flexible 60 by 60 centimeter light. And I've got a bit of scrim that I bought online in front of it. And then I've got my own homemade grill that I built out of core flute and I've sprayed it black. The reason I'm using that is because I could get it shaped the way I wanted, and I'm actually just using it to stop any of the light reflecting onto my projector screen. And that's the biggest issue that I've had with this setup and tried multiple things, is trying to avoid getting any glare onto my screen, on my projector screen, because it picks up all light. That's what it's meant to do, is it's reflecting the projector light, and I need to avoid getting any lights onto that screen. For my backlight or my hair light, I'm using the Godox ML60B, which is a bi-color, cool little light that I've actually used a clamp to clamp it onto my cloud behind me. So it means there's no cables, no stands. You could walk in here and not even really notice that it's there. And that's giving me that just warm little bit of backlight here. The last light that I'm using is for the RGB backdrop, and that's the TL120. It's a 120 centimeter RGB bar, battery operated, but I have it plugged in there up the back, and that sits above my cloud. And so that is doing the blue behind me, but it's a great light, can do effects. It's cool for video clips. The fact that it's battery operated, it just can be taken anywhere. So with those three lights sitting in my cloud, all the cabling is up there as well. I have no stands. The studio is clear of any cables, so it's great for when clients come over. So I'm going to turn the lights off for you, and then I'm going to turn them all back on in stages. So at the moment, what you're seeing is just my little bit of fill, and hopefully you'll get a little sparkle out of that one with my eye, but you know, I might need to turn that one up a little bit. But here is the key light. And if that light was off, we'd get an even more dramatic shadows and stuff. That is my backlight. And then finally we have the color for the backdrop. And I'm a big fan of the cool and the warm vibes with the blue. It's been something I've done from pretty much day dot when it comes to my YouTube channel. If I could change anything, it would be the key light. Obviously it's pretty high and not far enough forward, and I'm getting a bit of panda eyes and stuff. But at the end of the day, this has to be a working space as well. And so this means I don't have to set up any lights. It's permanently there. It's out of the way of the screen, and it doesn't make this place feel like, as I said, a YouTube studio. One thing I could do to fix that is maybe go with a TV or get a smaller screen, but I love the look of a projected picture. It's just less straining on the eyes. The fact that it's an 85-inch screen, and in this space, it feels big, it feels exciting. And when a client comes in to watch their film with surround sound, it really looks great. To wrap this up, I'd love to just say a big thank you to Godox for sending me these lights. If you're a YouTuber or a filmmaker, they are the most affordable but quality lights that you can use. And I'm really rapt that they were happy to partner with me and send me some lights for my studio. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am filming some courses. They'll mostly be on audio post-production, but there'll be a mix of Pro Tools and Fairlight, but I will be doing some live production mixes as well as some music mixing, and I am moving into Atmos in the next couple of months. If you want to be one of the first to know about these courses and when they're released, I'd suggest you go to noisypost.com.au and sign up for my newsletter. As a gift, I'll also give you my stereo Pro Tools template. If you've got any questions about my studio build or the Godox Lights, feel free to reach out to me in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.